tear you apart. This is what it feels like.
Rambo: Last Blood. This has been one of my most anticipated movies of the whole year. I was so excited for this movie, and walking into the theater, I was just like shaking. I was like, this is gonna be so good. I was like so excited, and I think I've waited for this movie for about 9 to 10 months, maybe even a year. I think it was 9 to 10 months though, somewhere around that. And man, time went by fast. I remember just sitting back like, I don't know, months ago, back in like January and like all those months, February, when I saw First Blood, I was like, wow, I wonder what they're gonna do with Rambo 5. And I was like, it feels like it's so far away, but like I couldn't believe it. Like when I was like driving to the theater, I was like, wow, we're already going to Rambo: Last Blood. So time goes by fast. But anyways, let's just talk about the movie. Now let's talk about the good. I think the best thing about this movie, which is like a really good aspect of it, is John Rambo as a character, all the emotion added to him. I felt the emotion during this movie. Like there's some scenes that like almost got me. Like there's like some pretty emotional scenes in this movie. John Rambo as a character, you know, you've seen him go through so many things, and he's like one of those characters that like he just wants peace, but he really can't get it, and like there's like just so many things stopping him, and it's like really like some dark stuff in the movie, and like this movie like really takes risks with that, and makes you feel for this character a lot. And I love John Rambo as a character. The action is great. I feel like the action could have been more consistent, but I'll talk about that later. The action is great when it happens. There's this one scene in a tunnel that's like actually one of my favorite scenes of the whole year. I loved it so much. Like me and my dad were like just laughing our asses off just by how some people were dying. And this movie's brutal, and it takes advantage of that. It takes advantage of its R rating, and it's a ton of fun to watch. This movie is like, it has some scenes where you're just like, whoa, and I swear this has the most violent scene I've seen in a movie all year. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's like my mind was blown after I watched it. And another thing I liked about this movie is it takes some risk with politics, and I feel like some people are gonna get offended by it, and apparently a lot of Rotten Tomatoes critics have gotten offended by it. But I'm not gonna talk about that. Which, you know, it's like that's its own thing. Like I'm not gonna state my opinion on it, but like this movie takes risks, and I like when it does that. I can't say risks, like I don't know, I just sound stupid saying that, but I think this movie just does like a great job, like just, you know, taking them and like, you know, just doing things with it, and adding to the story. This is a satisfying movie because it shows what John Rambo does to all these horrible men, and I won't get any more into that because like I don't want to ruin it for anyone. Also, Rambo's viewpoint on how things like how he wants bad men to die like the worst death possible is very interesting, and shows more of who he is as a person without making him over the top. Like the John Wick character, like he doesn't care how you die, he just cares that you die. Which is something like, you know, it's cool seeing like all these different movies, and both of the names are John, so that's why I'm kind of bringing it up. But John Wick is like, you know, like it's just fun seeing like these two movies, like this movie compared to other movies, like how John Rambo is a lot different, like how he wants like people to die the worst that's possible, if they're like horrible people. So yeah, I just thought that viewpoint was interesting. The ending is a fulfilling conclusion as well. I won't get any more into that, but yeah, if you've seen the movie, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, just like I thought they ended off good. Unfortunately, I did have a lot of problems with this movie though. Its pacing, definitely. The first act of the movie is definitely kind of slow. The second act picks up more, and then the third act is great. But I feel like this movie really could have been more like put together, like just like it could have flowed a little more, like I don't know, better I guess. This movie has some really entertaining scenes and everything, like during the first and second act, but for the most part I feel like it really picks up in the third act, and this movie just feels too short. If it started off faster and made the last 20 minutes of the movie the last hour and a half in the movie, that would be much better, and I feel like I would have liked it more of a like as a film. And the dialogue can be cheesy at times as well. That's easily one of my biggest issues with the movie. Some like back and forth scenes were kind of like, they felt kind of stiff and everything. Just like kind of like first draft, not first draft, but like, like just kind of mediocre dialogue. Except for like some lines that John Rambo delivers in the movie. Like just like some of his like not one-liners, but like just some of his quotes in the movie are like, I love them so much. And this isn't much of a problem, but it feels a lot different from the last Rambo movies. And I like when they change things up, but it felt a little too different at times. I had a good time watching this movie, but I expected way more out of this movie. I'll give Rambo Last Blood a B. Honestly, this is probably the most disappointing movie I've ever seen. It's not like bad or anything, it's just like, I expected way more out of this movie. Maybe my expectations were too high. Anyways, I'll hopefully be doing a spoiler review of this movie, and I'm gonna be getting more reviews out shortly, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.